Hi, and welcome to Credential Manager. My name is Michael Blair, and I'm going to be giving you a little short presentation on the personal website area within Credential Manager. Credential Manager is a way whereby you can manage all of the credentials and information as it applies to the websites that you're promoting and going to on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis. And it gives you a way of having a permanent record that's within a single login so that you can have all the websites that you're going to centralize within Credential Manager. And inside of Credential Manager, there are actually two areas that you can use to store and to recover your information. One of the areas is the personal website area, which is where we're at right now. The personal website area is a private area for you to add your websites and your information associated with those websites. There's also what I call a public area, which is the activations page that I'm floating my mouse cursor over right now. I'm not going to go there, but I am going to kind of give you a brief rundown on how that works. Essentially, it looks pretty much the same as what you see here, except that when you click on the add a website, and the website is not in the database, then you'll be actually adding it to the public areas. And where it will go is it will go into a recent page. Of course, it'll go into your activations, and it'll also go to the categories page. And the categories page is the page that lists all of the websites that are inside of the database for Credential Manager. Now, because it is a public area, the activations page, not the personal website, which is where we're at right now, but if you were on the activations page or in the public area, and because it is a public area, any website that's added there needs to be a good website. In other words, a website that is not a known scam. And we do have a filtration system set up to filter out known scams. So as an example, if you were to add traffic monsoon, that's a known scam, and you would not be allowed to add it in the public area. However, here in the personal website area, you can. And the reason for the distinction is because in the personal website area, it's personal, it's private, it doesn't go anywhere, it doesn't go out into the public areas. It's not being put out to the recent page or to the categories page. And in fact, it doesn't even go into your public activations area. It goes into your personal website activations area. And as you can see, I have 6 personal websites activated in my personal website area. And basically what I did is when I created this system back in 2002, I wanted to have a way to put in my personal websites that wouldn't necessarily apply to the global database or the database of websites available to everybody. As an example, I had a control panel that I had access to for developing my websites. I also had online email addresses, because I had more than one, that I had access to that were associated with my hosting account, and there was really no need to put them into the public area. So I created a personal side to give me a way to put in personal websites that didn't really apply to the public areas. I know that kind of sounds a little confusing, having 2 different areas for our credential management system, but there is good logic and good reasoning behind it. Because when you do add a website in the public area, I wanted to make it so that anybody could access that website so that they too could activate it. And the reason being is because once we put a website in the database, we know what the login link is. We know what the domain is or the main landing page is. And those are 2 pretty important links. And that way, the member, when he's activating a website, doesn't have to put in those links or those areas inside of his activation. It's already been done for him. And so we like to keep a record of all of the websites that have been added in the public area. But in the private area or the personal website area, which is where we're at right now, it doesn't work that way. When you add a new website, something that's not already there, then what you're doing is you're putting a website into your personal websites area. And in fact, you can even put a website that doesn't exist, that isn't there. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but if you want to, you can. And so you have different things that you can do in the personal websites area. And in fact, any new website that's added, in other words, a website that's not already in the database, that's added to your personal websites, it doesn't go anywhere. The only place it goes is to your activations block right here. That's it. It doesn't even go in the back-end admin panel for services that are added to the database. It only goes right here for your activation. So it's very private, and it gives you a way of adding services that are not put into the public database, which means that you can add websites that we wouldn't normally allow. And it gives you a way to, if you want to manage a spam and scam website because you're dealing with it, well, you can. Or if you want to manage another type of site that we don't allow according to the rules, well, here you can. And the reason why is because it doesn't go anywhere. No one else is going to see it, and you're not allowed to promote it. So, it isn't going to be something that anyone else in the membership is going to see. It's just for your private consumption, so to speak. So let's kind of get started now that you have a basic understanding of the two different sides. And I'm going to explain to you a little bit how to add a website from the add a personal website link, and also from the non-activations. Now the non-activations block are all the websites that are currently in the database. And so these are scam-free websites. They're not one of these is a scam or a spam website. They're all perfectly legitimate and very high quality websites. And if you're using any of them, as an example, let's say that you're a member of Google and you want to go to Google and say you want to add the Google analytics. You want to get analytics on your website. Then all you'd have to do is click that right there. That'll put in the Google Analytics into the pull down here, and you'll see this box here. And when I float the mouse cursor over, you get a tooltip saying activate Google Analytics. So we click on the button, and we don't even have to put in any of our usernames or our referral URL or our banner code or our email. And those are the different things that you can actually put into any activation, along with the notes and even a start page link. So but we don't have to do anything. You can do all of that later if you want to just activate it. So just to activate it without putting any information in it at all, you just click on the save button. And then it'll go away, and you'll see that now it's in our pull down in our activated websites. And so we have Google Analytics right there. Also, I want you to notice that if we click the display button for Google Analytics at the bottom, we do have domain information, or what I call who is information. And the who is information is pretty darned important. It gives you the domain creation date, in other words, the date that this website, which is google.com, came into being, which was in 1997 in September. And so that's pretty important. What if the website just opened up this month or yesterday or even a year ago? And it also gives you the domain registrar, the domain phone number, the domain location. So they're being shown in Parkway, Mountain View, California. What if they're in India or Egypt or China? You may not feel as good about them, or you may feel good about them, but at least you know where the website is actually coming from. In other words, who created it. You even can get domain admin contact and the domain service name. And you'll see also when the service was created here in Credential Manager. The service created date is the date that it was created here in Credential Manager. And so that gives you very pertinent information. And for any website that's rendering, even if it's a website that's not in the database, you will have WHOIS information stamped on that website pretty much within the hour of you adding it. And so in other words, all legitimate and rendering active websites do get their WHOIS information stamped on the record so that you can get a little bit more input about the websites that you're dealing with. Now, so how do you add a website that you don't know if it's there or not, or you just want to add something that's personal? I have a what I call is a horde login that's based off of my credentialmanager.co, and it's for webmail, and it's for support. It's also for admin and for my personal and for other things. And so that's what I use it for. So I'm going to add that here. I'm going to put in the domain name. Now, the reason why it's asking for the domain name is because it wants to do a lookup for any of the non-activated websites that are in the database, so that it'll provide you with the website name, and also give you the correct login for that name. So as you can see, this is credentialmanager.co is based off of Credential Manager. So I'm going to put in my username, which will be, I'm just going to put in a fake username and a fake password. And I'm going to not put in I'm not going to put in a referral URL. So I'm going to save the credentials. Then I'm going to go to my personal websites area. As you can see, I have 8 websites now that are activated from the Google Analytics and from this new website, Credential Manager. So I'm going to go to Credential Manager, and I'm going to further edit it because I want to put in the login link that's based upon this link right here. So all I have to do is here, and then copy, and come back here, and there's the login link right there. As you can see, it took the main domain of Credential Manager for the login link, and it does that by default. So if you don't put in a login link into the add thing, and I don't think it was there to actually do, you can do that here in your email. And so I'm going to go and put in here horde login. And I'm going to update it. Okay, and so now it's updated. I'll have to refresh the screen. And now, if I want to go to the Credential Manager, the horde login, I just click here. And if I want to look inside of it, I hit the display. See where it says horde login here? I can name anything. I can name the referral URL. I can name the email. I can name the banner code. And so you have a lot of different ways that you can deal with the information as it applies to your website. So as an example, if this website had security questions that I wanted to input for accessing the website, you could actually do that right here under the banner embed code if you wanted to, because that's a text-based process there. So as an example, let me show you what I mean by editing it. Coming down here, I can name this security. See, what is your mother's maiden name? And then in here, I could put it, say it was Blair. Click on the update. Click on the display. And you can see here, I have that here and here. That's kind of a different way of using the banner embed code, but it shows you some of the flexibility that you have with this system. You can have also put that into a note section if you wanted to do it that way, because you do have over 100,000 characters that you can use for a note section. But I did it here because the banner embed code is a text-based process, and it actually works out pretty good. I've actually done that for a couple of websites that I activated in the public area. And so you have different things that you can actually do with Credential Manager that are pretty darn interesting, and it gives you a way to hold the information in a permanent record that you can use from a cloud-based process that you can log into from any device, your phone, your tablet, your laptop, your desktop, and you have centralized access to all of the information for the websites that you're promoting and that you're using on a weekly, daily, monthly, yearly basis. And so this is a pretty cool thing because it gives you the ability to track all of the information as it applies to the websites that you're dealing with. And so this is I use this every day. I would be lost without Credential Manager. Now, admittedly, my activations are on the public side. I have over 170 websites that are activated on the public side. Now, if I wanted to go here, see, it took me right to my Horde login. I could have also done this another way. I could have made up a domain. Here, I'll show you what I mean. So now I'm going to call it Horde email. Remember, this goes nowhere. And the login link is right here, so I still have that in my copy paste. So I'll just put that there. My username, I'm going to put in a fake user, user1. Yeah. Save credentials. And when we go back to personal websites, that Horde login will be there. And I can actually delete the Credential Manager that I initially, see, Horde email is right there. So I can go into Credential Manager and I can delete it. I'll get a little pop-up saying, warning, you're about to delete the credentials. You sure you want to do this? I'll click on yes. It'll refresh the screen. And bring me back to my personal websites, and I'm back to eight activations. 1, 2, 3, 4, right, including the Horde email. So now I have something that's a little bit more geared toward what I have here, which is my Horde login. Do you see that? So this gives you a way whereby you can do whatever you want. It gives you a private process to deal with all of the websites that you have that you're working with. Now, as a free member, your activations allowed is not unlimited. You're actually allowed 25 activations between the personal websites and the public area. In other words, between those two, you can only have a total of 25 websites activated. But I feel that that's pretty generous for free, because that gives you a way whereby you can activate up to 25 websites that you're working with on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis. And you can put in all of the information that's associated with those websites. And so, as an example, let me ask you a question. Has your computer ever gone down? Has it ever crashed on you? What about all of those logins, all of those referral URLs, all of those that embed code, the email associations, and all of the information that you have with regards to your business, to the websites that you're promoting and that you're using? Where does that go when your computer fails, when it crashes? If you had a centralized process for dealing with all of that with Credential Manager, it would go nowhere. You would have it all the time, no matter where you are, no matter what browser you're on, no matter what device you're using. You have a cloud-based centralized area that you can access all of your information with regards to the websites that you're promoting and that you're using. And it's a very comprehensive system. It's not just a password manager. You have management for your referral URLs, which is an affiliate link. In fact, you have unlimited links that you can put inside of anything. So as an example, if I wanted to add another URL, I could click on the plus button. If I wanted to add another username and password, I can click on the plus button. If I wanted to add another email, the plus button. If I want to add another banner or embed code or a text-based message to myself, it's the plus code. Now that plus button can be clicked unlimited amount of times. You can have unlimited usernames and passwords, referral URLs, email associations, and banner code. Now, obviously, in an email association, you would put your own email address that you have affiliated with this website. But also, what about the support email? Sometimes you want to send the support at the website that you're using an email to get support. And sometimes you don't always know what that is. But if you put it inside of your credential here, you'll always have access to that, and you can even name it by going support email. And then keying in the actual email for the support. I'm just going to make something up. And then you click on the update button. And now that information is there. Click on the display button, and you'll see your support email. And you can do that. You can highlight it and then copy it and then paste it into your email client and send support an email. So that gives you another alternative or another way that you can use the information that's being allowed to be put into your record for the website that you have activated with Credential Manager. So you can see that although it's a very simple system, it gives you some pretty powerful results. And so consequently, as I said earlier, I would be lost without Credential Manager myself. I have over 170 websites that I have activated that I go to on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis, or websites that I've forgotten about that I may want to visit again for whatever reason. Shopping websites. I have websites that I use to see what I want to eat. There are over 50 restaurants and national chains inside the database. And so I use Credential Manager as a way of convenience. It's very convenient. And I can have any website in here, whether it's on the public side or whether it's on the personal side, for whatever reason that I want to, so that I have centralized access to the information that's inside or being associated with the website that I'm going to. Just a couple of more ditties. I don't know if you've noticed this here or not, but there's a button here and it says display personal login information. If you click on that button, it's going to display the username and the password so that you can see that information before you click the login button, and it's in English. It's not in dots. It's in English so that you can see and know what your username and password is for whatever service you have highlighted. You can click on this arrow here, and for every username and password that you keyed into a website, you're going to have that information available to you. If you don't want to see it, you just click on the hide button and it'll go away. Now notice that we don't see it there. If you want to display the record, you have a display button that you can click on, and that will show you your information. If you want to name a line item so that you know what that line item is for, you click on the edit button and you click on the line item. Main login. And let's say I had another username password that was a secondary login. Say admin. See, I had an admin login, which I do. So I'm going to go back and edit that real quick. So these are the two different logins that I have. I wanted to do that so that I can show you something. Now I click on the display button and see I have my MEB login and I have my admin login right there. And I have the username, the password, the username and the password, and I have this log so that, let's say I don't access this for a while. Let's say I come back here 6 months later and I want to go to my Horde login. Now I go to my Horde login every day, but let's say it wasn't as active as it was and I'm not visiting it every day. Am I going to remember a username and password a month later, 6 months later? Probably not. But if I record it once, again, it becomes a permanent record that you can access at any time with your login to Credential Manager. You can use the pull down to bring up whatever website you want to look at, and you can click on it, and then you can click on the display button, and that'll give you all of the information with respect to the whatever you've keyed into this record. As I said earlier, it's very convenient and it's very easy to use. You have two different ways in the personal websites that you can add websites for activation. You can add a personal website by using this link right here, just by clicking on it, and that'll bring up a box where you can key in the domain of that website. And as you saw earlier, you can even make up website. You can make up a domain so that you have a way to deal with a website that you want to have named so that you can know what it is, like I did with that Horde email process. It's under Credential Manager, so instead of activating it under Credential Manager, I just made up a Horde.com and then put in the login for the Horde email so that it'll take me to my Horde email login. And this is one of the reasons why I originally created the personal websites, was to give me a way to deal with the different email addresses that I was going to on a daily basis online, and also my control panel for my hosting company that I was hosting my websites with. And there are other personal things that are on the internet that you may come up with that I didn't think of or that I'm not using, that you may want to use this area for. And don't forget that you can also go to the non-activations area. And right now there's a little over 585 websites in the database. And so you'll have plenty of different websites that you will notice that are in here. We have Apple, we have Adobe, we have, as you can see, a ton. Google, all of the different Google websites. So if you want to go activate the Google AdSense, it'll take you right to your Google AdSense. Google AdWords, Google Cloud Storage, Google Domains, Google FeedBurner. And the reason why we have these different websites here is because they all have different logins. And those logins have been put into the public record database on the admin side so that you have a way to get directly to these websites. It's a lot easier than clicking on the button within Google to bring up the different websites and then click on them and then have to go to those areas and try and find where those areas are. Here, you can just activate a particular site and it'll take you directly to that area. And so that's why I did that. And they're all under google.com. So if you put in the add a website, personal website, google.com, then it'll just have you activate Google. If you want to activate the other Googles, you'd have to come in here and activate them. And you have a lot of different places, a lot of different websites that are inside of the database that you can activate. We got JotForm, we got Kaspersky, we got KFC, Kickbox, and Lead Pages, Legal Shield, Legal Match, a lot of different websites that are inside the non-activations. They're all very high quality websites. They're all scam free. None of them are Ponzi's. And inside the public area, all of the websites that you see there will be high quality, high caliber websites that are not scam or spam type websites, because we have all of those filtered for you. And in fact, on the public side, we even have the domains being monitored so that we make sure that the websites that are in the database are all active and all rendering. Now, that's not true for the personal websites area. In the personal websites, you are responsible for maintaining the website. In other words, if the website for whatever reason goes down and you can no longer access it, then you just highlight that website and you can delete it or deactivate it if you so desire. But it's not going to be removed for you or deleted for you from the domain monitoring on the public side. And also, you're responsible for the login link for every website that's inside of your Credential Manager, even the ones that come from the non-activation side. Now, initially, the login links are put there for you from the admin side that has the non-activated website put into the database. But you can also change that if you want for any website that you're dealing with on the personal websites area. So just to encapsulate, the personal websites is a totally, completely private area that you have to activate all the websites that you're promoting and working with, and in case you don't want to have them in the public database. for whatever reason. There are some benefits to adding in the public database. I won't go into that. I've already done a video on that. But here you can add a website and it's totally private. Even the administrator will not know any website that's been added. Like that hoard.com that I just added, it went nowhere. The only place that it went to is right here for this account in this member's account. It didn't go onto the recent page. It didn't go into the categories. It didn't go into the non-activations for everybody else. It's only here. So listen, I want to thank you for visiting with us today. I hope that this little presentation, this little video that I created for you is helpful for you to understand the difference between the personal website area and the public website area, and to give you kind of an idea of the different ways that you can use Credential Manager. And it's so simple, it's so easy to use, yet it produces very powerful results and gives you an outstanding process for storing and recovering all of the credentials and all of the information that's with your with the websites that you're dealing with. And one last note on all of the usernames and the passwords that are put into your records, those are encrypted. In other words, if I were to go to the database and do a lookup under that website, I would not be able to see any username or password. It would be garbledygook. And so your usernames and passwords that you're entering on the personal websites and on the public websites are encrypted. So you are secure as far as your username and password credentials are concerned with regards to every single website that you add either here in the personal websites or in a public websites database. Listen, I want to thank you for visiting with us, and I hope you have a great day.